hearties, what's going on? Welcome back. I'm so excited to see all of you. Come on in, get settled, grab a beverage, and get comfortable because today is going to be a good one. Welcome to our next virtual live chat celebrating season 9 of When Calls the Heart. I'm Deidre Behar with Entertainment Tonight. It's always such a joy to be here with you. And today, you know, I'm extra excited because of these two friendly faces. Please say hello to two of Hope Valley's finest, Natasha Burnett and Viv Leacock. Round of applause.
Parties.
It's so nice to see both of your faces. I truly can't believe how fast we are moving through season 9 of When Calls the Heart. We've gotten to see the Canfields really solidify their place in Hope Valley. They're planting deeper roots. Natasha, how are you feeling about season 9 so far?
I'm really excited about the storyline that's gone so far. I am really appreciative of how the Hearties have responded to it. I was so looking forward to see how they felt about Mr. Landis' storyline. And so I'm just really excited for what's to come.
Yeah, and I do have plenty of questions about that. But Viv, I want to get your hot take. How are you feeling about season 9?
Hot take. Yes, I love the way season 9 is going. We've, this is a show that takes into account the fan base and the way the fans want things to go and move and shift. I think we've done that very well, and we're always throwing in different surprises for them to for this to keep going, keep getting bigger and bigger. Yeah. So yeah, I'm excited because I know where this all goes. So I'm excited.
I'm going to do my job. I'm going to do my best to pry as much out of the two of you as humanly possible. And cheers to that, Viv. Like, let's keep our fingers crossed for a season 10 because we're falling more in love with everybody in Hope Valley and especially the Canfields. And Natasha, I want to start with you and of course, Minnie. It has been so wonderful to see the cafe as really a lovely centerpiece for like her arc this season. And we know that, she's keen on buying out Abigail's portion of the cafe. What can you tell me about that journey and how everything with that is going to shake out?
Well, I think for Minnie, it's such a personal journey for her because as she mentions in season 8 that her housekeeper, Ruthie, taught her how to cook. So I think for her, this is something that she would really like to see through. But of course, for the Canfields, being very true to life, there are road bumps ahead. And she's going, and as in the episode just past, she did want to pray on it with Joseph, and she wants to do the right thing for herself and the family. And the obstacles that are ahead, we shall be seeing how they are dealt with.
Yes. Okay, so it's not going to be an easy road to acquire the cafe?
It's not going to be an easy road, but, the residents of Hope Valley are come together for the Canfields. It's a very special moment.
Yes.
Okay. Viv, I feel like you've got something that you want to share about this.
Yeah, we always try to do things with no spoilers attached.
It's hard, yeah.
Yeah. We Natasha and I talk about this all the time. We want to tell everybody everything. We want everybody to know what we know, but you can't know what we know. Not yet. No, this is there's the storyline is really, really true to life. Coming up for just exactly how things go when trying to, acquire the cafe and do what's necessary for Minnie to be in there. Perhaps it's like Natasha said, there's some bumps in the road, and we'll see how we can get through everything.
Well,
we'll see. We'll pray on it some more.
Yeah, keep praying on it. And while I am, obviously my heart hurts for the Canfields, I don't want them to have to go through anything that's difficult. I do want to talk about something a little more lighthearted. I want to know, how much fun are the two of you having with so much food in your scenes? I mean, Natasha, you've got your hand on a spoon and you're frying something, and then you're like, Joseph, I need you to grab me this. You guys are running a full-blown kitchen. How difficult is that as an actor? And I want to know, is it real food?
Ooh, it is absolutely real food. It is.
All of it.
Thing that kitchen scene in the last episode, it was like trying to remember which word I took the scrambled egg out on, and which word I put it on the plate on, and just everything is so exact, and you just don't think that hard about it until, when you watch TV, you're like, why can't that scene look real? I understand, because it's so hard to like repeat the same thing over again.
Yeah, I didn't want to clang plates or glasses or move anything when she was talking, but it's like I have to get to the milk before she says this line, and it was just like, oh my gosh, it's a lot to do, it's a lot to work out, but and then the frying pan that Natasha's hanging on to weighs 7,000 pounds, so it was like it weighs more than her. So, yeah, it was hilarious. We're trying to do this thing.
I feel like I've heard some of the other actors reveal that now that there's an ice cream shop in Hope Valley, that the vanilla ice cream is actually mashed potatoes. So Viv, last night, you looked like you were devouring Minnie's famous apple pie. Was that a real slice of apple pie you got to eat?
Oh yeah. Our amazing props people hooked me up. Charisse, she hooked me up. She always comes and she'll check and be like, do you want coffee in this mug? Do you want whatever? What do you want in this mug? Or with the food, because Joseph's always eating because Minnie makes amazing food. So yeah, it's like, are you good with eggs? Are you good with toast? Are you good with? I'm like, oh yeah. But it's like we do take after take after take, and I'm like, I'm trying to.
I feel like I've talked to Kevin Smith about this because I feel like Lee has to eat a lot on camera. Yeah. And I digress. We're getting way too deep into the food world, but this will be our last food question. What do you do, Natasha and Viv, when you have to drink excessively, when you have to eat excessively? You know that you're filming take after take and you have to keep, ingesting food or whatever it is you're drinking. How do you manage all that?
Yeah, I just don't eat before that scene. so I'm really hungry.
Natasha, do you have a trick?
You know what? I would say you just can't get carried away. I remember one scene last season with Viv, and he was like, no, it's fine. I'll have the whole slice, no problem. And then he just couldn't say his line.
I couldn't speak. And Peter Deli was like, can you put the whole sandwich? Because I'm talking like Peter right now. Can you put the whole sandwich in your mouth at the same time? Like Peter, like nobody could do that. So we just kind of left it that Joseph left some food and went, because there was no way I could finish. I couldn't do it.
Joseph can do it. Joseph is a man of many talents. He is a true Renaissance man. This is maybe the one thing he can't do.
Cannot
do it.
All the food every take. That's not gonna happen. Yeah. So no, I wanted to not gross anybody out. So I was like, I'm just gonna stop now. And
Well, thank you for answering all my fun behind the scenes questions that, the things that as a viewer I watch and I'm constantly curious about. But kind of on a more serious note, Viv, you and I have talked about Joseph's trajectory and how he's really trying to find his footing. He's obviously a very talented and skilled pastor, and Lord knows he's got so many talents. The man continues to impress me with everything that he knows how to do. But we're kind of seeing that he has some bigger dreams, and he, maybe wants to partner up with Lee. What can you tease about what's next for Joseph as he continues to discover himself?
I do love playing this guy. Joseph is he's a joy to play just because he is that everyman, but a lot like myself, it's always about how the family functions and how the family moves ahead. It's every decision that Joseph and Minnie make is exactly that. It's what Joseph and Minnie, they make those decisions together, and they do. They pray on everything, and they make sure it's what's best for the family. And so with Minnie expressing, a want to buy into the cafe, Joseph's gonna, adjust anything that he's pushing for at the moment, and he's gonna back his wife 100%. That is Yeah, that's how you do things when you support each other and when you are for each other. So that's really the focus. It's not the wrong way to go. It's like no matter what, if we're together, that's the right way to go.
I love that. The messages on this show just always find a way to touch our heart and teach us something. And, you know, it is about that sacrifice and doing things for one another to help each other succeed. I know Minnie has certainly done that for Joseph in the past. And so it is beautiful to see him really giving her that moment. Natasha, I want to talk about something that you touched on when we started this conversation. The whole storyline with the Canfields and Mr. Landis. My hat is off to the two of you, and Viv, to your two children, for how beautifully you guys portrayed that, a moment of really shining a light on empathy, understanding, you know, trying to figure out how can we see eye to eye on this situation. And we know that music was the great common denominator between Angela and Mr. Landis. And I'm still over here like, what is going on? We know that he left town. Is Angela going to acclimate and be part of Mrs. Thornton's classroom?
Well, I can certainly say that the dinner was successful.
Yeah.
In all ways. For Mr. Landis and for the Canfields.
Okay. So can you say if you're pleased with how things are moving in the future?
Yes. Both Minnie and Joseph are very pleased with how things move forward.
Yes, we can see.
She was determined to make this work. And had Minnie, she did it. So
yeah, I think Mr. Landis is afraid of Minnie more than anything. It's just like, don't mess with this woman. This woman, woo, she's powerful.
What did you guys think of that storyline? I mean, I think it probably took a lot of people by surprise to see Minnie take this approach. I mean, I know I certainly probably wouldn't have been as friendly to somebody who'd been so awful to my family. What did you guys think about the way that the Canfields approached this dilemma?
I really liked that. For Minnie, it was partly having Joseph not necessarily agree with her methods, which I thought was quite nice, because although a couple like that who always support each other and are always making sure that they have the other person's back, in certain cases, that's not the case. And I just love that in this particular situation, Minnie in the beginning was almost had to be determined to do this alone. She didn't know how it was going to all end. And she couldn't promise to Joseph or Cooper that the end of all this was going to work and they will see Mr. Landis in a different way. But I know for Minnie, she prayed on it and she really felt this was the only way to do it at this point. And she just, you know, tunnel vision, she just went with it regardless.
Yeah. Yeah. Joseph definitely didn't have the thought of inviting Mr. Landis over for dinner. That was not that was not what was in his head. You know, it is something that on both sides of intolerance, there are people that have to do their part. If you are experiencing someone who is trying to stop you from doing something, and if it happens enough, then that can build up in you. And the next time it does happen, you may not see a way through it. You may not be able to steer through it like Minnie. It can all get too much. And then what you have there is you have this impasse because nobody's willing to budge on either side. And it took Minnie, you know, looking at the situation and doing something totally different for it all to, for everybody to see that they had more in common than they had differences. And that is what it'd be nice if we could all do that. If everybody could just sit down at the table and talk with each other, see that we're way more alike than we are separate. We're not. We're very, you know, as people walking around the planet, we're very, very connected to the same kind of wants and needs and fears. And that's what drives all this stuff. It's all fear that drives all of that. you know. So if we can get that out of the way, then we can see that we're together, not apart. Thank you, Minnie.
Minnie. Thank you, Minnie. And thank you for those words. Viv, I've said it before that, you know, I feel like sometimes the line between art and life is very blurred because you are so poetic, just like your character on television. And, you know, kind of speaking of like, you know, the pastor of it all, we got to see your on-screen son, Viv's real life son, Elias, aka Cooper, on the show. We got to see him, you know, acting out a little bit, but we realized that he wasn't acting out because he was just being a wild, you know, kid. He actually had some real depth and thought to the reasons why he was behaving and the thoughts that he was having. Yes. I'm curious, thoughts on that storyline? Have you been able to relate to that in your own real life?
Yes. As Cooper would have gone through what he, you know, has gone through what he's going through, the same thing happened to me, as a matter of fact. Not necessarily at that age, a little later. There's a point where you really start looking around and you can recognize that, especially if you're in a good place, you can recognize that, well, why was there a bad place? There didn't need to be a bad place. If everybody can be this kind, then why could or should it have happened that people were mean or intolerant? Like, that's the irony of it is, had the Canfields stayed in the situation they were in before they moved to Hope Valley, Cooper might not have recognized this the way he did. It would have just been like, oh, you just deal with that. You just deal with that. You just deal with that. You literally got a chance to step back and actually connect with a community that is not looking at him based on the color of his skin. They're looking at him based on, you know, the content of his character, the type of person he is. And that's what he knows is important. So again, he starts to really kind of look into, he's just growing and getting older and realizing that some things don't add up. Like, I had the measles. Why did Angela go blind having the measles? And I did it. And you could tell that, you know, you can tell a 3 or 4 year old that story for a while and it's going to stick, but there's going to be a point. The kid is learning, he's growing, he's questioning things, and he's going to wonder why. And that's a very difficult question to answer for all of the reasons involved. And as a person of color walking around this world with children, it is a conversation that I've had to have with my children, that it's not always going to be fair. It's not always going to be that you meet up with people who are looking at you for the person that you are. They are looking at you for the person they think you are. And you just have to just always be you, no matter what happens. And, you know, this really does line up with a lot of real life issues and how my wife and I deal with it. So just as my wife Davina and I deal with it in real life, Joseph and Minnie have to decide on what is the best way through, because you don't want your kids to start to blanket statement everyone, because they could. It's a real thing where you go, oh, well, that group of people treated me poorly, so I guess they all will treat me poorly for the rest of my life. And that's a real dangerous way to live. That's a real dangerous way to be. So yeah, I love the fact that we got the chance to tackle those issues. And what was really nice is a lot of the Hardys reached out and you know, private messages and said, so thankful that this was brought up. This is something that I've had to deal with. So thankful that this is brought up. So good for us to learn from this moment. So we can do amazing things with a TV show. We can do amazing things with a community that comes together to kind of shape and craft a TV show. We can do amazing things, and it's nice to see when we do. I've spoken too much.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
No, that was beautifully put. Thank you for sharing all of those thoughts. Natasha, I'm curious if you echo a lot of what Viv just said.
Oh, absolutely, I do. Although I'm not a parent, I do have 2 young nephews, and I think sometimes just knowing how to answer their questions in the right way, so they hear it in the right way, and you have to say it in a way that you know that they'll understand, because of course they're likely to repeat it, and right. So, you know, I think it can be very difficult, and you often have to attempt multiple options of how you can approach the same subject. And in the beginning, I think a couple episodes ago, when Minnie went to get Cooper out of the soda fountain and she realized he didn't want to go to church anymore, in the beginning, you really don't think it's necessarily that deep for them. It's just, why aren't you doing the chores? Like, what's the problem? And, you know, the look on Minnie's face, she really just didn't know what to say in response, because she wasn't expecting to hear that. And I think it's in those moments that so many parents can truly relate to, of just not knowing what to say for once. You want to be able to answer your child's questions, every single question they have. And sometimes it's just not possible. You're only human. So.
Well, I applaud the both of you. And I think I speak on behalf of Hearties everywhere, where I say thank you for continuing to tell these stories and have these conversations. Like Viv, you said, we really can spark change and keep things, constantly moving and going towards the right direction if we see it on TV, and we can have conversations about what's going on in our lives. I want to pivot just a little bit. To be completely honest, I'm surprised that the 2 of you are not together in the same box, because you've done these live chats and virtual panels together in the past, and it is so obvious that the 2 of you are just so close in real life. I know Viv calls Natasha Aunt Natasha to your kids. And I'm just curious, now that you've had the opportunity to really work so closely together for over a year, what has that growing and developing bond between the 2 of you been like? What is that friendship like?
I think she's done with me, actually, personally.
It's over.
Is that why you're separate boxes?
Yeah, I want my own box. Get out of my box. Natasha, you go ahead. I'll let you take that one.
No, it's been, it naturally could have only gotten better. We just talk so much about so many things at all times. And I really felt like, even for this season, talking about everything that was happening for us, I really think we connected a lot more on this season, because we really could get our teeth into the future for the Canfields and really share how we felt about their story moving forward and things like that. And so it just, I feel like it just continues to keep growing, and I'm normally there to watch the episode every Sunday anyway, and then we just all have dinner. So it's just a great little family experience.
Yes.
Viv, what do you have to say?
Yeah, you know what? Natasha will tell you. I will just randomly thank her out of nowhere. But like, thank you, thank you for being you. All the time, I'll just send a text. Thank you for being you, because this could so easily have been, a great actor. You work opposite a great actor, but maybe you don't necessarily jive, as far as the way you do things or how you see things or all that. It doesn't line up completely on so many things that it's like, I feel like I've known Natasha for 10 years. And I completely, like, yep, I know what she would do. I know what she would say. And she can say the same thing here. She'll know. Just as today, when she's like, oh, Tech and Viv, those 2 don't go don't go along. So she already knew. She called earlier. She's like, make sure you get this.
You have your passwords? I know you don't.
Oh, she's like, make sure. She knows me.
Just like Minnie.
Yes, Minnie knows Joseph.
Anticipating the next step. Yes.
Knows Viv. No, you know what? It couldn't be anybody else. I'm so happy that it's Natasha, because, we just clicked and just just go forward like we've been hanging out for our whole lives, and it makes. I know as a fan of any TV show or any movie that when I find out that the cast hang out in real life, I'm just like, well, this is the greatest show ever, because that look was an ad lib, or that laugh was a real laugh, and when you know that, you just feel like you really are a fly on the wall. You really are seeing behind the scenes, because we're breaking the fourth wall a little bit when I'm laughing at her or smiling at her. That's for real. That's for real. It's not it's not Joseph just smiling at Minnie. I'm looking at Natasha, and she may have said something that y'all don't know before we start filming, and then I have to try to get through it, and we're just having a good time.
So when you're eating that apple pie, when you're complimenting that apple pie, that's really you being like, Natasha, girl, I love you, and I love doing this scene with you.
Thank God you're here. Yeah, because and honestly, for real, because it's a lot to juggle being a dad on set. It's not anything it's not an experience that I've had before this show, and it was daunting. And she'll tell you, she's like had to. Come on, get up. Yeah.
Natasha, I was going to ask you, now that you've had the privilege of working with Viv's real life kids and your on-screen kids, Elias and Vienna, now that you've known them for like over a year, are you protective of them the way that you are, Minnie is with her children? Are you protective over these kids on set?
Yeah, I mean, I do remember this one time where, I think we weren't sure where Vienna was, and I was like, right, let me go and see if she's in the ATCO. Where is she? Where is she? We need to find her. Like it mattered so much to me. Yeah. But it kind of did. It was just, I'm just so accustomed, because I know Viv is always wanting to make sure that they're okay, and sometimes, so then Vienna would come to me and say, oh, I'm just going back to the trailer, and I'm like, okay, Viv, it's fine. She just said, back to the trailer, it's okay, I'll go and get her, it's fine. We've just gotten so much closer, and even when I go over to their house, and if like Viv and Davina are somewhere else, and I'm just sitting having a chat with kids, it's great.
Yeah.
No, Viv, I think you've said in the past, you're pretty similar to Joseph in terms of parenting. I'm curious, what do you think the biggest difference is between Joseph the parent and Viv the parent?
Yeah, what's interesting, Elias actually said this, because there was a scene a couple episodes back where Joseph comes to find Cooper, and he hasn't done his chores yet. The look I give him is the look I give him in real life. And Elias couldn't stop laughing between takes, because he's like, you're looking at me just the way you do in real life. I was like, yeah, because if you don't do what we ask you to do, you're going to get that look. And
yes.
So, yeah, we line up on that for sure. There's a lot of similarities between myself and Joseph. Just the way it's, like I said, it's family first. Really do listen to what everybody has to say. But ultimately, if you're a child, you're below a certain age, you're going to need some guidance on a couple of things. But, I'll say this, because I actually say to my kids all the time, I'll say, you can tell us if there's things we need to do better. You can you can suggest it, but but I'm open to it, and so is my wife. We're open, like we know that we're learning. I didn't have teenagers before now, this is our first time through with all of this. So yeah, if there's something that we're not doing well, I've stated all three of the kids. Tell us, say something.
What are you getting feedback on lately? Because I can go back to my teenage days, and I remember all the things that I used to get upset with my parents about. And now as an adult, you look back and you go, my gosh, I can't believe you said that as like a 12-year-old or a 13-year-old. What are the things that I know you have 3 children. What are the things that you and your wife are hearing?
Well, we get pushback a little bit on the whole phone time, screen time. We get pushback on screen time. But I gotta say, these kids, because we instituted this a long time ago, screen time is If you're not, you don't have the benefit of being an adult and have a section of your life where you didn't have a phone glued to your hand, it can be dangerous. It can suck you in. And so knowing that, we put that in place years ago when they were all really small. Screen time is a limited situation, and you only have so much of it, and then you're off. And as it's become more of a tool for kids to communicate, especially our two teenagers, it's a little tougher to deal with. They are communicating. They're not always looking at something on TikTok or Snapchat or something, but you don't know that as a parent. You look and see they have their phone, and it always looks the same. They have their phone. Whereas in my day, I was on the phone. So if you want to know I was talking to somebody, you didn't have to look too hard because I was like this. There was something in my head. Whereas now,
and then the call ended and you put the phone away. Now you can be on the phone for 3 hours at a time, no problem.
Exactly. And so it's the balance.
Hats off to your wife. And I certainly hope, I don't know your feelings about TikTok, but when we did the conversation with Ben Rosenbaum a couple weeks ago, he had some, hilarious behind the scenes tidbits of Jada Lily Miller making him and Kevin McGarry do TikToks on set. So fingers crossed for a season 10, because I want to see Elias and Vienna bullying you into doing, a little TikTok situation.
It'll happen, I'm sure. I know that for sure. Yeah. Yes. And Natasha's amazing with all that. Like, I have to give it up to Natasha.
Yes, you're a social queen, Natasha, truly. Always posting.
Oh, man. Yeah. She makes me better.
I have limited time with you guys, so I want to quickly ask. I know that everyone is so excited about the inaugural Hope Valley Days. Can you explain, Natasha, what are we going to see? What does that even mean? And what are you excited for the fans to take away?
It's going to be such a great celebration of Hope Valley for the residents and the Hearties. And you know what? Haven't been able to be a reunion, but you know what? They can come and join us in these episodes and just be part of it with us. And they're really special episodes with just everybody, just the celebrations that we have together are so meaningful, and you just see everybody just having fun and having a good time. And I just really want the Hearties to party with us. So
can you explain a little bit, what is Hope Valley Days, and does it mean that everybody, the whole cast, is going to be together?
Yeah, it's sort of, it really is just bringing everybody together as one, with so many different celebrations throughout the year that bring people together, that everyone can have a part in. So I think it's something that the audience...
All at the same time. Yes.
Yeah, all at the same time. So the audience will really be able to relate to any one of the celebrations, all of the celebrations, and just join us.
Yes.
And how are the Canfields dealing with Hope Valley Days? Are they getting lit? What's going on with the Canfields, and how are they celebrating?
Yeah, cafe's on fire. Cafe is going like crazy. Yeah, busy.
Well, there'll just be a few things that will come to light in the next episode for the Canfield.
Okay.
And by the end of the episode, everyone will be back. Everything will be brought together again. So,
I love her spoiler-free description. It's wonderful.
Yeah, the teases are killing me, but it's such a reason to tune in every single Sunday. But before we play a quick game to wrap up, my final question for you, Viv and Natasha, we're halfway through this season of When Calls the Heart, and you've already taken us on quite an emotional and joyful roller coaster ride. What is the moment that you are most excited for fans to see now as we enter the second portion of season 9?
That we can talk about?
You're a creative person. I know you can give it to me.
Yes. Most excited about the way in which the Canfields and the community come together to get through any difficulties that they may have. That's what I'm most excited about.
Okay. Might Natasha, might this have something to do with the acquisition of the cafe?
Well, yes. Based on what Viv is saying, yes, it will have something to do with the cafe. Absolutely. Personally, for me, I'm actually kind of excited towards the end of the season for Minnie and Joseph to do something that they've never done before as a couple.
Are they going on vacation? Do they get a nice, well-deserved vacation?
Yeah, tune in.
Honestly, Minnie works so hard in the cafe. Joseph works so hard with like 97 different jobs. I just want to see them like on a beach relaxing somewhere. Can we write that maybe into the script next season?
Hope Valley days. Yes, let's hope. Let's hope.
We'll keep hoping. I want to wrap up by playing a fun, quick, rapid fire game. Now that the Canfields have really acclimated to the folks in Hope Valley, and everybody so well, I would love to know who is the first person that comes to mind when I read a specific category. Okay. Cool. So number 1, who is most likely to be eating on set?
Elias.
Yeah, I'd say Elias, but then technically, because I'm eating in every scene that's ever written, it's me. It's Elias.
You and Elias share snacks? Are the two of you always at like the catering station?
Yeah, my man loves craft services. This guy, I tell him, hey man, you get to do this show. It's craft services. What? Let's go. Like let's go.
Sign me up. What is he like? Is he a sweets guy? Is he like a chips and popcorn kind of guy?
He's a sweets guy like me. He's a sweets guy. Unfortunately, sorry.
that apple pie, it never fails. Who is most likely to be napping on set?
Dave.
Also me.
Wow, Natasha, that was a very quick answer.
So fast.
Yeah, you're like, are you
ready to give up? You're like, it's us now.
Yeah.
Where am I?
And she'll tell me so nicely. She's like, mate, you look knackered. You look knackered, mate. She tells me, she's so sweet when she tells me, you look like garbage. What's wrong with you? Come on. She's like, did you go through makeup yet? I'm like.
And I love Natasha. I've told you this before. I love that you can turn off the Natasha British accent. Like Viv, you just did a wonderful job there. And you go immediately into Minnie mode. It's such a testament to what an amazing actress you are. Okay, so Viv, you're the napper on set. Who is most likely to be on their phone, whether it's talking, texting, social media, taking photos?
Erin. Yeah, that's all social media stuff. That is not. She's not chatting. She's
out something with an episode or whatever.
Behind the scenes. She's
very dedicated.
Wow, that was poetry. The two of you all together at once. It was wonderful.
Yeah.
Who is most likely to be putting together a cast hangout?
Pascal. I say Pascal.
Yeah, she likes to get the group together, like whether it's a dinner or going out somewhere.
She's got they have a great house, her and her husband, for entertaining. So yeah, they're good with that.
Nice. Who is most likely to make you crack up in the middle of the scene?
Kevin.
Wait, I heard Natasha said Kevin McGarry.
Yeah.
And Viv, sorry, I didn't hear who you said.
Natasha Burnett is most likely to make me crack up. I'm every scene I'm in, I'm with her. So
yeah,
there's actually it's a 3-way tie. It's Natasha, and it's Ben. It kills me. I can't even look at that guy. Anything he does, I'm not looking at him. I'm guaranteeing you, if the camera is on him and he's saying anything, I'm not looking at him, because he does anything and I start laughing. So I can't even. And Rothgar kills me. Rothgar is so funny, and you don't even get to see what this guy can do. But yeah, it's a 3-way tie for me.
I'm telling you, you need to go watch this TikTok that Jada posted. It's Rothgar, Kevin McGarry, Ben Rosenbaum, and Jada's off camera, like directing, and they're doing a TikTok dance. I literally peed in my pants watching it. It's the funniest thing you'll ever see. And I need more of that in season 10. Who are you most likely to call when you need advice from a friend?
Natasha.
Well, I'm going to say, it's always Viv, always.
Yeah.
But also, I would call Loretta or Johanna.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me. You get a little bit of that Flomo wisdom?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're just so, I don't know what it is. They're just so wise. I just feel like I can get some good answers from them.
Yeah.
That's so cool. They are wise women. That is true.
You know, Martin Cummings and I we're actually neighbors for years, and our kids went to the same school together. And yeah, Martin. When I got the gig, I could hit Martin up, and he broke it all down for me and laid it out, like what to expect and how everybody was, and yeah, he definitely had a lot of insight. So.
Oh, those true Hope Valley friendships. I love it. They're on camera and they're off camera. Yep. My last one for you. Who are you most likely to call when you want to go out and have a good time?
I mean, I think Jack Wagner is probably, the biggest partier out of, he's been doing it longer than everybody. So that's
yes.
Jack's the guy to call. You go anywhere and Jack's going to know somebody and have it in. That's the guy you want to call.
Okay. Sure. Natasha?
I would say Ben, for sure.
Okay. Has he organized? Because when he was on with Kayla, when we did the live conversation, we found out that there was a little line dancing situation that went on where like Aaron and Ben and Kevin and Kayla did a little bit of like Western line dancing. Have you guys had a fun night out all together?
Well, Andrea and Ben and I, we all went out. So it was a great night. Like he is really funny. So he's so funny that it's just, it has to be him.
Yeah, we've had Ben's been over for dinner. Amanda's been over. We're looking. Kevin and the whole crew are supposed to come through soon. We just keep hanging out, man. That's what we do. That's what we do. It's very.
I love it so much. It is. I've said it before. I'll say it again. I mean, you really are a family on set and off set. And I think it is so obvious to the Hardys who are at home, who watch loyally every single week. We love you guys so much. And we thank you for giving us so much amazing television. My final question to the both of you, what is your message to the Hardys as we kind of go into this now, second batch of episodes and the rest of season 9? Natasha, what is your message to the loyal fans?
Thank you so much for following our storyline and your dedication to us, all your messages of support and love, and get excited for the next 6 episodes.
Ooh, yes. Yeah, I'm just gonna echo what Natasha said. The Hardys don't have to reach out to us and say any words of encouragement. They don't need to do that. They have stuff that they're doing in their lives and jobs and kids and families and stuff like that. But they take the time to just, send out a little message saying, good job. Really love what you did. I love that scene. And they send out so much support from my kids. That's the thing that I find so amazing. Because you don't always get that. And I love being a part of this community, and their support means a lot to how we do what we do. And yeah, we know they're watching, so we always try to put a little wink to the camera kind of thing for the Hardys.
Well, I have to say, as a Hardy myself, Viv, Natasha, please extend to your kids, Vienna and Elias. We love you guys. You are such brilliant additions to Hope Valley, to When Calls the Heart. And I encourage everybody, if you're not already, what are you doing? You need to be tuning in every single Sunday, 8 p.m. Hallmark channel, When Calls the Heart. And tweet along with us, #Hardys. I know I certainly will every Sunday night. Viv, Natasha, tweeting along?
Yep, we'll be there.
We love it. We love it. Thank you both for your time so much. Cheers to the Canfield family. We'll see you guys next time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See you soon.